Hey guys, I'm in my classroom again. I thought this would be appropriate since I'm going to be talking about Japanese today, although I teach English. Okay, so I've got a pile of books here. And one of my favorites for basic beginners is Modern Japanese. I have to dig this up. I don't really use it anymore, of course, but it's a good basic book. It's called Introduction to Modern Japanese by Osamu Mizutani and Nobuku Mizutani. And it's published by the Japan Times. I guess it's still in publication, but if you're a beginner, that's a good place to start. Another way to study is, well, there's tons of books. Basically, you got to find something you enjoy. And of course, I would recommend, I like a paper dictionary. This is my first dictionary. It's very old, right? And I underline stuff, right, when I'm studying. And I also have an electronic dictionary. This is a good one. It's a Sharp. I don't know what model number it is. They're about $300 or so. Anywhere from, you get a cheap one for about $50, get an expensive one for like $500, but there are many ways to study. Anyway, there's some basic questions, and I'm going to go through the list. I printed up all the questions. I was a little bit disappointed. I thought there would be Mel's basket case. Thanks for your question, your video question. There were very few real. No questions really. I was hoping for some video responses asking me say something really funny like so and so is bald, or basic stuff, or so and so is a slut or a attention whore. But there was nothing like that. So, but I did get some questions, and I'm going to go through them and just basically answer some of the more basic stuff about Japanese. And if you're a beginner or someone who's interested in learning Japanese, this will be kind of a basic talk about that too. Okay, well, first of all, Japanese are very proud about saying that their language is the most difficult in the world. I don't know how they decide this, but I read once that Czechoslovakian was actually the most difficult language to master in the world. I don't speak that, but anyway, I don't know how they measure those things. But the arguments against that Japanese will give you is that we have 3 alphabets. We have hiragana, which looks like this. I'll put some hiragana here. And then we have katakana, which is used mostly. Hiragana is like an alphabet, basically like phonetic alphabet. And then katakana is the same as a phonetic alphabet as hiragana, but the letters look a little bit different, a little more blocky, like this, straighter lines, and it's used mostly for foreign words. And then they have kanji, and kanji is basic, looks like Chinese. It's actually from China originally. It's Chinese letters. Unlike Chinese, in the Chinese language, each of these kanjis, the Chinese characters, have only one pronunciation each. But in Japanese, one kanji, for example, the simple one like this one, can have up to 12 different pronunciations, and depending on the context and the sentence and all that. So that's the tricky part. I will disagree with all Japanese who say hiragana and katakana are two different alphabets, because it's a little bit like uppercase and lowercase English, right? I mean, the Roman alphabet. The A, the American A. The A, upper class. Someone's here. Some students are here. Lowercase and uppercase A's and B's and what else? D's look very different. C's, of course, look the same. S looks the same. Well, many of them look differently. Hiragana and katakana are like that. Some of them look the same, and some of them don't look the same. Anyway, sorry about the noise in the other room. I don't know if that's coming. You're going to hear that, but there's some students talking. Okay, some of the questions I got. Someone asked me. Here's a funny one. Why, when you speak Japanese, why do you sound like a Japanese people in kung fu movies? There are no Japanese people in kung fu movies. Kung fu is Chinese. But that was a funny. That's a funny comment. Okay, here's another one. Someone asked me about the U in de. Well, first of all, someone asked me desu. Now, let's do a very simple sentence. Watashi wa Victor desu. So basically, that means I am Victor, right? Watashi wa me Victor desu. Victor is Victor. The pronunciation changes for the Japanese ear. Watashi wa Victor desu. Desu is basically a complicated is. Now there are a few ways to say is in Japanese. We have politeness levels here, and if you want to be formal, you could say de gozaimasu. Watashi wa, or you could say, well, watashi wa Victor to moshimasu. I am called Victor. To moshimasu means I am called. Watashi wa me Victor to moshimasu. Or you could say de gozaimasu. Victor de gozaimasu. I am Victor. And de gozaimasu is a very formal form. You probably see that and hear that in movies quite a bit. The funny thing about Japanese is there are many words for I. I don't know if I should make a list. I'll probably do one sometime. I basically is watashi. Young girls will say atashi. Atashi wa? Atashi wa? Right? And then you have ore, which is older guys, ore, or boku. Boku is like young guys. There's also seshawa. That's more like a samurai level. There are many of them. Ore, boku, sesha. I'd love to ask Japanese people how they determine what they are. I basically figured out I'm a boku. Maybe when I get older I'll become an ore. You know, ore wa bikuta desu. So basically, again, watashi wa, atashi wa for girls. Ore wa, boku wa, and if you're an old guy or samurai, sesha wa. There are more, but those are the basic ones. Anyway, what else? Des, yes. So basically, des is, right? Other people ask me, why don't you pronounce the U at the end? Well, that's a tough one. Because, well, it's there, but it's very soft, right? I suppose you could it's a little bit similar to, sorry, comfortable. You don't really say comfortable, but it's there, I don't know. Comfortable, interesting. Very few people say interesting. You say interesting. A little bit like that, I guess. Except des is very prevalent. I mean, you say it all the time. So des. Almost no one says desu. Now, very easy little lesson for you. If you add ka to the end of something, it's a question. Desu ka turns into a question. So if I say watashi wa Victor desu ka, it means am I Victor? Okay. Let's see what else. Here's a basic question. How do you say this is good and this video is rubbish? This video is good and this video is rubbish. Okay, so let's do this. This is kono, right? Kono, for example, kono hon, this book, right? Kono cup, this cup, right? I'll do simple words that you'll understand. Kono pen, this pen. Okay, so kono video wa sugoi. Okay, that just means great. Now, sugoi, I'm teaching you sugoi because sugoi is the most basic Japanese word for wonderful. You can also say subarashi, which is like wonderful but a little bit more elegant. Also very common, but sugoi is a word you hear all the time in Japanese. Sugoi! And some cool guys will say suge, suge. You'll hear that a lot when you walk around. One of the problems with standard Japanese school is they don't teach you the way people really speak. Everything is polite. They say sugoi desu, but a lot of people say suge, right? So anyway, kono video wa suge, and I would say the opposite is kono video wa kudaranai. Kudaranai is like nonsense. Gomi is rubbish. Technically, but actually like garbage, you know, like rubbish. But I wouldn't call a video in Japanese gomi. I would say it's kudaranai. Kudaranai, which means basically crap, right? It's gonna be a long video, oh my god. Let's see. Lisa Nova is a spammer. And Japanese spam is the same, spam. You could say meiwaku mail. Meiwaku means problem. And if you want to insult somebody like you're a pain in the ass, you could say, Anata wa, you is anata. Anata wa meiwaku desu. You're a pain in the ass. Meiwaku meiru is spam mail, you know. But the spammer, like what the question was, how do you say Lisa Nova is a spammer? Lisa Nova wa spammer desu. I guess that's it. I mean, there's nothing, and people will get it. If you speak computer English or computer Japanese, you will speak this kind of Katakana English. Katakana English refers to the imported words, right? A lot of people love this video. They said, great idea, but very few people offered me questions, so I'm looking through the questions here. JNK0312 asked me, how do you say, and he asked in Spanish, ¿Cómo se dice ya dejen tanto drama? Which roughly translated means, how do you say enough drama? But here's a good way. Here's a good pattern. Mo ii desu. Mo ii desu. That's enough. So drama mo ii desu. Drama mo ii desu. That's enough drama, right? Robo Roads, one of our robot characters on YouTube, said, how do you say I banish you to the Necro realm with my mighty hammer from the Holocaust frost? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how to say Necro realm in Japanese and Holocaust frost. I don't even know what that is in English, right? So, yeah, a lot of people. Oh yeah, someone asked me if there was a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger in the back. I have 1, 2, 3 classrooms in this school, and so I was in a room with. Yeah, that's actually a signed photograph, autographed picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was a presidential. What do you call it? He used to be like the ambassador for health for Reagan, Ronald Reagan, I think, and he got that. I think it was correct. Anyway, that's enough for this video. This will be part 1, okay? We'll go on to part 2 in a minute.